Okay, today we're going to talk about the pancreas, we'll talk about the liver, and we'll talk about the small intestine. So the pancreas is an organ that sits close to your stomach. Exocrine function, it releases a substance. So its substance that it produces is pancreatic juice, and that pancreatic juice is important in digestion. So that is why the pancreas is part of your digestive system, because what it produces is needed for digestion. So if I look at where your pancreas sits, basically it's right under your stomach. And I can see where it empties into, basically it empties into the top portion of your small intestine. So here's the pancreas. The main duct that's going to carry the pancreatic juice is going to empty in right here at the top of your small intestine. So the pancreas itself is closely associated with the small intestine. The cells that produce the pancreatic juice are called pancreatic acinar cells, and basically those are the cells that make up most of your pancreas. These cells are going to cluster around tubes that are going to, kind of like your blood vessels, they're going to merge together, they're going to make larger ones, and then eventually the largest one is that pancreatic duct that runs through the pancreas. So I start out with cells. They're around these tiny tubes that branch and get bigger until you reach the pancreatic duct. The pancreatic and the bile duct, so the bile is going to come from the gallbladder, we'll talk about that next, join together and empty into the small intestine, which is surrounded by the hepatopancreatic sphincter. So again, sphincter means a round muscle that closes. Hepato deals with liver. Pancreatic deals with pancreas. So basically where those ducts join together is where that muscle is located. So pancreatic juice contains enzymes for digestion. Carbohydrates is listed first. Insulin is one of these that the pancreas secretes. So sugars, carbohydrates, also other fats, proteins, nucleic acids. But carbohydrates is listed first for that reason. Protein digesting enzymes are released, and when they're released, they're inactive, zymogen granules, and they don't get activated until they actually reach the small intestine. And then what happens is there's a enzyme, enterokinase, activates trypsinogen to form trypsin. And this is going to be what helps with the digestion of proteins. Other enzymes. So notice there's quite a few. There is pancreatic amylase, breaks down carbohydrates. Amylase is also found in your saliva. Amylase, carbohydrates. Pancreatic lipase or lipase breaks down lipids or fats. It's going to break down triglycerides, which is a chain, and it's going to break it down into glycerol and small fatty acids. Two nucleases, and nucleases are going to break down nucleic acids, and they're going to break them down into smaller nucleotides. So this, amine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, parts of your DNA. Trypsin, and that's the one we talked about on the last slide. Chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase, all of those are going to break down proteins. So these three are responsible for proteins: lipase, fats, amylase, carbohydrates, and sugars. So same thing, regulation. It's not going to produce the same amount all the time. Your nervous system and your endocrine system, because there is a duct and your pancreas releases it. Those are the two systems that basically regulate how much pancreatic juice is produced and released. Secretin from the duodenum, which is the top part of the small intestine, stimulates the release of pancreatic juice. So when it's released, it has a high bicarbonate ion concentration, but not very many digestive enzymes yet. So what that does, the duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. Food's coming in from the stomach. The stomach has a lot of acid. These bicarbonate ions are going to neutralize that acidic chyme that's coming from the stomach. Then, after it's been neutralized, cholecytokinin from the wall of the small intestine is actually going to stimulate the release of the enzymes that start breaking down the food. So step one, that chyme that is high in acid has to be neutralized. Step two, the enzymes are released for breaking things down. So here you can see, so here's the pancreatic duct. This is going to be the bile duct that's going to come down from the gallbladder. That's where they meet. That's where the sphincter muscle is at. So here I can see bicarbonate ions are going to be released first up in this area. It's going to continue to move through the small intestine, and then the secretin, this is basically also where your enzymes are going to start kicking in to break down your different foods. And that's all of your pancreas.